Hello, Twitch chat. I think we're live. So, welcome everyone to another episode of What the Quad. It's really nice to have you with us on our final show of the year because it's the end of 2021. These years are merging into one, so don't know what year we are anymore. And I've Christmas themed this because Christmas is soon and I like dressing up, and I even have a hat that lights up if I can find the switch. In the meantime, here are our amazing guest pilots that I am very, very pleased to have with us today. So there's Killian Rousseau, aka Darkex from XBlades.
Woo.
Gabriel Barasso, aka IQ. Is it IQ0 or IQ0?
Either. People do both, I don't really mind.
What do you prefer?
Like technically it is a 0, so
Okay,
IQ0 probably works better.
IQ0 from Raiden Racing, and Kenrick Lin, aka Kenrick FPV, or as we always call him, Kenny, from
boys?
China Dragons.
Yeah.
Cool. It's really nice to have all of you with us, especially we have a world champion amongst us today, so big honor.
Yeah. Yep.
Cool. Well, thanks for making the time today, and just kind of a quick roundup of where is everyone and what time is it where you are. So, Killian.
It's 7 p.m. for me.
Kenny?
It's like 1 a.m. midnight right here, Indonesia.
In Melbourne, Australia, it is 5:09 a.m.
Oh, wow.
So nice and early.
I'm in France as well, so I'm like Killian at 7 p.m. and soon dinner time.
Yeah.
So thanks for joining on what are probably school days for you guys? Are all of you still in school?
I'm in university, but
I'm in my
Yeah.
last year of school, and next year maybe university, or I don't know.
I just done my final test this week, so I'm free like all week.
Oh, congratulations, Kenny. Do you feel like
Thank
you did
you.
well?
Yeah, I did pretty well.
Good for you.
Good.
Inspiring stuff. I do not miss tests. I was really, really bad at them. Like, yeah, Killian, you know the baccalaureate. I did not do that well in that. I got it, but yeah, that was
Oh.
where it limited at. I was good in English,
Okay.
so one thing I did well with. Anyway, so first question to all of you is like the general question: how did you get into drone racing and FPV? So how did you start? Where was the first time you saw a drone, and how did that evolve into wanting to do racing? So Killian, maybe you can start.
Okay. I started FPV racing in 2017, like 4 or 5 years ago. I was doing the plane and LA before, and then line style. So some of my friends just found some quads and bring them to my training field. I just saw this for the first time and wanted to try. So I couldn't work, and just that was pretty good. And I did a lot of PV, and I got a better drone again and again. And it's my first competition in the end of 2017.
I'm not gonna lie, I don't know if it's my Wi-Fi or what's happening, but you keep cutting. Gabe or Kenny, do you hear Killian? Okay.
No, he
Kinda
was a
like
bit,
it, so
laggy for me as well.
Am I the only one hearing the? Oh wait, the echo has gone now. We're all switching positions on the Twitch chat. Cool, I'm Killian Rousseau from XBlades. I'm a pro drone pilot. Oh
And
Yes,
he's back.
I'm coming back. Are you hearing me good right now?
no. Yeah,
Yeah, we can hear.
yeah, no, you're good. But the camera's frozen on my end. Or it's like really, really slow and choppy.
So, do you want to repeat?
You can try.
What do
Maybe try,
uh,
can you like disconnect
I
and
was
reconnect? And like, can you talk while you're
okay.
doing that?
Okay.
Turning on and off, I found, is usually the best way to solve everything. Okay, so temporarily, everyone's in the Twitch chat is going to see you guys cut out weirdly, but... Kenny, how did you get into FPV and stuff? Because I remember last year that you sent a message asking what the age for eligibility for being a DCL pilot was. And I was the one who answered you like, oh, it's under, what did I say, under 16 or something. And you're like, oh. And yet here you are. So how did you get into drones?
I thought it started like 3 years ago when my dad bought himself a tiny up, and then I was like, "What's this thing?" And it's like, "Oh, it's a tiny up. Then I'm gonna fly." And then it turns out I'm the next one, like flying for like the next 3 days. And it's like, okay, you're pretty addicted to this. You wanna try like the big stuff, and we fly like we finally bought like the 4-inch drone, and then that's where everything starts. You know, started from like the tiny up. Now I'm flying like a real life 5-inch, like real life, and I'm in DCL now.
That's amazing. What a progression.
Yeah.
And how about you, Gabe? How did you kind of get into drone racing and FPV?
Yeah, it was a really long story. So I remember probably back in 2015, I watched a tested video where Sharpoo was flying around some like bando. That was like the first time I ever saw a drone, and I was like really interested. But at the time, I was like too young, and my parents were like, "Nah, we don't want to pay for this. You're just gonna break it, and it's gonna be a waste of money." So I remember like jumping on and off a couple simulators for like ages, and then eventually, I think in like 2017, I bought DRL. Flew that for about 2 years, and then in 2019, I finally built my first real life quad, and yeah, the rest is history.
I can hear myself and it's very disconcerting. So, Killian, are you still with us? No, Killian is temporarily... Oh wait, now he's back? Killian?
Do you hear me?
Yeah, but like super, super softly.
Oh,
Oh, he's gone again.
it's back.
We're gonna get there. It's gonna be a Christmas miracle. Come on, Santa, do your thing. Bring Killian back to us. Does anyone know
Sorry,
like a
was
Christmas
speaking to
carol?
me.
Oh, you're back.
Yeah, I'm. Sometimes my microphone is just disconnected,
That's strange.
so trying my best.
No worries. So, Killian, back to the initial question. How did you get into FPV?
I was doing some alien training before, like for 3 years, and
Okay.
4 years ago, just my friend just bring some drones. My training field, I wanted to try, so I just one. I got another one faster one. Every time and I got addicted, so I was doing a lot of simulator.
Yeah.
And I got to do my first combination after this. And I did
Okay.
pretty well.
I can't hear you anymore now. feel like Killian is going to be Twitch chat interview. And maybe in the meantime, you can, I think, Gabe, you can tell us how did you come to hear about DCL?
Well, I always knew about DCL since like really early on, but it was never something I like thought I was, good enough for, something I could compete in. And then one night I was about to go to bed, and my mate Squid FPV was flying one of the tryout tracks for DCL, and I was like, "This is a cool track. How do I fly it?" And he's like, "You gotta sign up for the tryouts to fly it." And I was like, "Really?" So I literally signed up for the tryouts that night, flew it for like half an hour, and then I went to bed. And then I just remember waking up the next morning, and everyone was like, "Oh my god, you got first position in the draft!" And I was like, "What?" So it was really kind of an accident, but I'm very much glad I did that,
A
because
happy
I wouldn't be
accident?
here otherwise.
You,
A very happy accident.
so, I think you're the one who won the draft actual selection. So for those who don't know, there's a draft
Yeah.
qualification where it lasts over a few weeks, and pilots compete in DCL the game on different tracks and stuff, and the top, I think it's 200 pilots, 300, I don't remember the exact, get invited to a draft selection, which is a limited amount of tries. I think it's 5. And lasts like 24 hours or so. And so you,
Mhm.
I don't know in the draft qualification, I think you did quite well, but it's especially, I remember the draft selection, you did really well because I got multiple messages from teams asking me, "Hey, how do we get in touch with Gabriel and stuff?" And I was like, "Well, that's not my domain. Just DM him on
Yeah.
Discord or something." And then you
Mhm.
got picked by Raiden.
Yes, I did. I'm very happy that I got picked up by Raiden.
It's the right year to get picked by Raiden as well, isn't it?
Yeah, definitely.
And Kenny, how did you hear about DCL?
How did I get in the
I'll
team?
start 1 year after I started like my real life racing career.
Mhm.
I watched like this like Fidus race, I think, or the underground salt mine in Romania. I watched that. Remember at like December, and I
Oh,
watched that like YouTube. It's like, oh man, I wish I can be there like at one point in like my racing career, And here I am. 1 year after I watched that, actually the live stream, I got picked up by China Dragon for like the sim season.
and how did it feel when you got picked?
Oh man, I was like, oh, my dream finally come true, because I've been dreaming to get join DCL for like a long time,
And
and
do
finally
you
get
have
it.
kind of the same feeling, Gabe, that when you got picked?
Yeah,
Were
exactly.
that is really cool that you guys kind of managed to work hard and get to where you are, I guess. So good for you.
Yeah.
Killian, can you hear us?
Yeah, I'm here.
Okay. How
I
did?
just switched to my PC and
Oh, okay.
just my camera's not working. I'm sorry.
Well, we know you're a pretty face. That's fine. The important thing is that we can hear what you have to say because we know how interesting your career has been. So, how did you know about DCL first or XBlades first? Like, how did that kind of come about?
At the first, I was not in XBlade team and not in the DCL, and this XBlade take me like a free pick without the draft just before the season of 2019,
Mhm.
and I did my first race in Turin in Italy.
Okay.
So I started by the real event before the sim season, and that was very very good thing.
And how did it feel to switch from a real life event to the sim event?
It's a lot of different. Like in real life, we are going into the entire world. That's pretty cool. We are seeing a lot of people and doing our best with the team. In the same league, it's different because it's just a simulator. It's like an esport. I'm prac- I'm practicing just a lot of more, and it's harder to be one of the best for sure.
What is it you miss the most about in real life racing?
Sorry,
What is it that you miss the most about real life racing?
I didn't understand.
Qu'est-ce qui te manque le plus du fait que maintenant tu es obligé de faire le simulateur et que tu peux pas faire la vraie vie?
Well, I think just seeing all the pilots and race together, it was the most important for me. And also just traveling into the world was also one of my goal at the first.
Mm.
So it's missing me for sure. It's missing to everyone.
Yeah. I think we can all agree that we miss real life racing, and we really do hope to be able to bring it back next year if Omicron decides to, go away. As drone pilots, do you guys have the ability to fly away pandemics? Is that like a thing, or too much to ask? It was supposed to be a joke, but okay. So DCL 2021, what a season! It's been pretty intense. All three of you, in very different ways, I guess, have had a season to remember. So I mean, I don't even know where to start. China Dragons, first time you guys were on the podium since a very, very long time. That was Lax Day 2, I believe. And you
Yeah.
managed to get 5th place, but only just. I mean, you were really close to getting Supersonic X off there. You did some amazing flying. You managed to beat a few of the greatest teams every now and then. So how did the 2021 season go for you, Kenny?
It's better than we expected, to be honest, because for sure we thought we were gonna get like fifth again like last year, but we actually like grind hard, and it's actually paying off at Lax. We finally get our second podium, I think, in the DCL season.
Mm.
Last time is like 2019, I think, in Italy when I'm like not in Chan Dragon, like they got in like real life,
Mhm.
and yeah, we're really happy for our performance at that race day. We did really good there.
And I mean, you were a really essential part of your team. Like, I went through all the stats. So you were the one with the second most amount of heat points scored for your team. So obviously you really sent it. And do you feel like you lived up, I mean, on a personal level, to the expectations that the team had for you this season?
Oh yeah, they expect me to do like pretty consistent race, and I deliver what they expected. You know, I and like it's all about the teamwork. We practice our consistency like every day before the race start, like every day before the race week, and we finally managed to keep the consistency at the race day as well, which is actually like really impressive for us.
I mean, hard work pays off, I guess. Took a while, but you guys got
Yeah.
there. And, if it continues at this rate, who knows where you guys will end up next year? Possibly even win.
Yep. Nobody expects us to get third place, and probably we can get like better than that.
I think no
Next
one
time.
expected Raiden to win either, so I think you guys have
Yes.
your best chances next year, and I really look forward to more and more competition.
Yeah, I reckon things are going to get very interesting from now on.
Yeah. The pilots, I feel, are like more and more talent is coming in, and you see it though in the races. The gaps are closing. That even when the same team wins, they're winning by less. Yeah, by less essentially, and so it does mean that you know, the level is racing on all fronts, and I think next year we have a very interesting season ahead of us. Killian, obviously, I can imagine a disappointing ending to the season. You know, you guys always win, so when you don't, I can imagine how frustrating that must be. But how do you feel, despite, you know, at this point not winning? Do you still think that you guys had a good season? What do you think you did well? What do you think you could have done better? How are you feeling about all of it?
I think we did well, and we did just our best. I said it before, but we're being one of the best and stay at the every time at the best is just super hard. So we are always trying to. We won 5 times in a streak, and not 6, but
No, it was
I think we
6.
can do it again.
Technically,
Uh,
you have won 6 times because the very, very first race, even though it was solo performances, if I'm not incorrect, Luke Bannister won, who is or was that time an XBlades pilot, and so technically XBlades have won 6 championships.
that's pretty good.
So you really were the best.
I'm a little bad about how we just lost a lot of points in the last race, and we took like 2 times the third place. That was pretty painful, but it's okay. And we just had some crash problem, and it's okay.
It happens, I guess. Like you say, it's tough when you're the best. Staying the best is always going to be difficult, and you know, there's always next year. I have absolutely no doubt in my mind that you guys are the type of team who will not let this stand and will keep fighting. So I look forward to that as well.
Yeah, we're gonna keep fighting for sure.
And on a personal level, how do you feel that you performed this season? Do you think you lived up to your and the team's expectations, or do you feel like you could have done better?
Personally, I wanted to be the first of my team this season, and Pete mentioned, but it was just faster than me. So we was always making a lot of points together, and that was pretty good to fly with him. But in the last race, I got the third overall individual classman of the point, and I wanted to be the first for sure, but I got third, and I'm pretty happy with my performance this season. I crashed sometime, but I made so much point for my team, so it's okay.
You did. A little reminder that you came third in the overall pilot of the year competition, sorry, with 187 points, and that is just 5 points shy of second placed Vincent Myers. And okay, well, we won't talk about MCK because he's a lot further. But but no, you did really, really well. You were second for your team behind MCK. You're absolute MVP this year. And last season as well, if I recall correctly, you were second in most points just behind your teammate MCK. So you've obviously been giving your all to your team, and that's very admirable. So good on you, you know, for that. Someone in the Twitch chat said it's very confusing with the cameras, so I'm going to start moving everyone back to the position that they should be in now that everyone's cameras are locked in. And Gabe, you can tell us about your season.
Yeah, this season was insane. Not in a million years would I have expected my, first season on the DRL with Raiden Racing to have been a win, but I'm so happy that was. The whole team worked incredibly hard. I remember before like every race weekend, I'd be practicing like a 50-hour plus week. I'd be putting in as much effort as humanly possible. So yeah, it was really, really, really rewarding to reach the end of the season. And, up to that last race, it was literally tied between us and XBlades, and the pressure was like absolutely insane on that last race. But we all, just stayed consistent, flew our own race, and, just did our best. And thankfully, we managed to come out on top. I don't think there was ever a moment where we were like sure we could win. Like all season long, it was like so close, so tight, so hard. But yeah.
Yeah, I mean, we were all watching from the sidelines. I was like, because I was one of the kind of older DCL people, I guess, who was there last season and who got to see, what happened. And I mean, Lesmat very frequently likes to repeat it. Go back to 2019, and Raiden scored 0 points. So it really is like a big turn of events.
Comeback story.
Yeah, it really is, isn't it? And we were all watching from behind the scenes saying, okay, well, XBlades obviously have the best shot, being the world champions and everything. It goes without saying that they're kind of the best place to win. But, there are a lot of teams that have recruited. I mean, Quad Force One almost completely redid their team with some really talented pilots, and Giant Dragons made some really good recruitments too. There were a lot of switches around with captaincies and things. So okay, let's see what this season, has to offer. XBlades wins the first race. We're like, okay, classic, of course, XBlades were gonna win. But it kind of goes forward, and we're like, wait, XBlades, we're not 100% sure here. And you guys really gave us and them, a run for their money. And I feel like the rivalry between you two actually made both of you become better, if that makes sense.
Yeah, for sure.
I personally, and I think you probably noticed it amongst yourselves, saw a progression in the level of flying, both in Raiden and XBlades, due to the fact that you guys were so frequently pushing each other. So that was pretty cool as well, I guess. Big rivalries being better piloting, I guess. And so you guys won based on the fact that in race 6, so the season finale, after the round robin, you and Quad Force One were the very last race of the round robin, and based on the amount of points there, it was possible that if XBlades or you goes to the grand final and the other the small final, because you were tied, whoever ended up in which one would win. So you guys tied with Quad Force One, meaning you and Quad Force One both go to the grand final. And so at that point, did you already know that you'd won? Did anyone tell you?
Yeah. So thanks to Longcat, our manager, and you, Katera, we were like every step of the way. We were really, aware of the points.
Mm-hmm.
We were always being very careful with how many points we needed. How fast we had to push, how hard we had to go. We were really just trying to maximize consistency, maximize strategy. So yeah, we definitely knew that exactly how many points we needed to potentially make it to the finals. It was something that we always were aware about, but obviously racing came first.
Mm-hmm.
The last thing you want is a position where like you lose some places and something goes terribly wrong, and then you're in the semi-finals and it's all over, right? So obviously racing comes first, but as a team we're definitely very aware of the strategy, very aware of what it took to guarantee victory. So yeah, in my opinion, it's a real balance between flying your own race and then also being aware of what you can do to increase your chances of winning.
And how did you guys react? I mean, we don't really see, the back. You guys are all communicating during races, right?
Yeah.
What was how did you guys feel? I mean, was there cheering? Did someone bring up balloons?
Yeah, a lot of cheering. So once we made it to that grand final with XBlades and we knew we had won the championship, I think everyone in the team was kind of in a state of disbelief. They were like, surely something's going to change and it's going to be a XBlades Raiden final. No one could really believe it for quite a while. But I remember once it was like time to race XBlades, I remember it was like all the pressure off. Yeah. I remember having like so much pressure the whole day because it was like if we didn't beat XBlades, it was over, right? But as soon as we made it to that grand final, it was we had won, so there was no pressure left. And I remember flying the best race I'd ever flown all season. I had no pressure on me, and I was absolutely going so fast. I was so happy with my flying in that grand final. I was keeping up with Vicent, who I very, very rarely am able to keep up with, and yeah, I remember just being so happy, so excited, and the whole team was also.
I mean, I can imagine. Yeah, you guys did some really, really amazing. So, yeah, do you feel like that you guys did a better grand final due to the fact that you knew you'd already won the season?
Well, personally,
Mhm.
I felt I flew 10 times better than I would have if it was XBlades, right? Because if it was XBlades, the pressure would have been absolutely crazy
Mhm.
because everything was depending on that one moment.
Mhm.
But knowing that we had already won, it was just a fun grand final racing against arguably one of the still best teams in the league, just for fun at this point for us. And with like all the pressure off, I could really relax, really fly my own race, really, just do my absolute best. And I think that's what led to us having such a clean grand final.
It was a lovely race to watch. The whole season has been really great to watch from all teams. I mean, really like XBlades Chain Dragons, you've all given us some really nice content, and it's been an absolute pleasure to have been on Twitch encouraging all of you and going, wow, oh my god, unexpected. And so the one cool thing with this year that we started was the DCL Women's Cup, where we were encouraging women to show off their skills because there aren't, even though they've always been welcome, of course, within all sections of drone racing, we noticed that there aren't as many men flying, and so we wanted to kind of spotlight on their talent. And they are all part of all 7 teams racing the World Championship, so they were also in XBlades and China Dragons and Raiden. And the winner of the DCL Women's Cup for 2021 was Evan DeSautel, Silent, who is on Raiden.
Yep.
So how has it been to train with Evan? Has she, pushed you guys to be better as well? How has her participation been in terms of you being able to win the World Championship as well?
Like, undeniably, she trained really hard. We every week trained as a team. She was always keeping up with us, always doing great. Really good at making tracks as well, coming back from I think DRL days. So we had plenty of practice tracks for the team every week, thanks to her. Yeah, undeniably, she deserved to win. She flew so well all season. She practiced really hard, and it was really good to see her beat out the competition. There were definitely a few races where she had tough competition from XBlades and so on, but in the end, I think she did really, really good.
Yeah, she's very, very talented pilot, and we're all big fans here. Killian, at the very beginning of the season, one of your co-keeper, I don't know how to say, teammates, so Julie FPV was racing against Evan and actually managed to beat her. So did XBlades then start thinking, you know what, actually we do have a chance at winning here? And how did that kind of happen then?
Yeah, Julie did one race at the beginning of the season.
Mhm.
Just Rosa was not able to do it, and Julie was at exactly same speed, so that was not a problem. And she made a pretty good race. She finished second, so she she, she took some point, and I have nothing to say. She did just a great job.
And how has it been training with Luisa and Julie? Have they also been kind of helping the team for the World Championship be motivated as well? Have you guys been training all together?
Yeah, she wanted to win and be one of the fastest, so she was training a lot, and we was also training the team with her, and sometimes just in the team.
Cool. Well, it's been really cool getting to see some female pilot representation. I'm always a fan for quite obvious reasons. One day I'll learn to fly and I'll be a no, that's never gonna happen. See, I am funny. I made someone laugh.
I wouldn't take myself as a sign that you're funny. I kind of laugh at anything.
That's still
And my
better than no one
I guess.
laughing at all, okay? I think
guess
I'm
so.
hilarious, but apparently no one agrees with me, so everyone is wrong. Cool. And what are the plans for? Do you guys have any plans for next year? How you're planning on developing? Is there like some sort of special strategy or something? Killian?
Yeah, sorry.
For next year, is there a plan, to get back on your feet, to possibly win?
For the moment, I don't know if it's gonna be a real season or a sim season.
It's a mix.
I'm not sure, but it's gonna be a mix. So I'm gonna practice just before the season a lot. So I'm doing a small break just after the race,
Mhm.
and I did some real flight too. So I'm gonna train real flight for my next 5-inch season and also DCL season, and preparing after this for the sim season. Yep. So
Do you have any competitions aside from DCL in France or in Europe that you're flying in real life?
I did one the last week
Mhm.
in Spain, and where I finished first. That was in Copac, pretty a race, but for the rest of the year and the start of the year, I got any race.
Are you happy to be able to take a break?
Yeah, I love FPV and I love racing, but sometimes I need to do some breaks. I'm flying since 4 or 5 years, 4 or 5 years of competition.
Mm.
So yeah, I'm happy to do some breaks for focusing on school or on me doing some sport.
What do you mean FPV isn't sport? It's lots of sport to move your thumbs around. Would
That's different sport.
Genuine question though, would you classify drone racing as a sport, and like what would be your argumentation of yes or no? Gabe, I see your eyebrows raised, so I feel like you have an answer to this.
I not really, but I think that was unrelated. But I can throw my hat in and give an answer, I guess.
Go for it.
I'd say it probably is a sport. I think they call chess a sport, so I guess you can call drone racing a sport.
That's
I
fair.
think it's more than just the flying.
Mm.
It's a bit more than so you've got obviously like all the building, all the strategy, all the technical side to it. So it's not just, the act of flying that I think makes it a sport. I think the fact that it's got so much behind it,
Mm.
I think that's probably more, what would make it a sport. It is a bit of a grey area, like, who really knows what to call it? I think it's still a bit new to have a proper definition, but yeah, I definitely think of it as a sport. That's for sure.
And Kenny, would you
Yeah,
say? Okay.
it's a perfect mix between the e-sport and the mechanical sport, like
Mhm.
the racing car Formula One. It's pretty similar of this. It's not really a physical sport, but we can, I think, classify it like a sport for me.
Yeah, I think there's a mental aspect to sports as well that, you know, doesn't necessarily mean you're running around. There's also the extreme kind of concentration and thought that you have to put into making it happen that definitely I think you guys would need to be able to, you know, I'm thinking in French now, Killian, thank you. Maîtrise.
Thank you.
and and how does one prepare for a live race, even in a sim kind of thing? How do you, what's your process, you know, on that morning or something? Do you eat special food, or do you pray, or do you do deep meditation? Like, well, what's the process there, Kenny? Do you have like a special ritual or something that you do?
For a sim race?
Yeah.
I don't think so. I just grind more when we know like when's the race date gonna be and what scenery it's gonna be.
Mhm.
I just like practice on a track like from my past races. Like for example, China race this year. I'm gonna practice like the China track from like last season as well,
Mhm.
and then get like the flow going. You know.
And how about you, Gabe?
I do actually have a funny ritual.
Go for it.
So it goes back to when I was like a really young kid, and in Australia we'd watch like the soccer World Cup, and for us it would be like the middle of the night, right?
Mm.
And I always used to cut up myself some apple slices with some lemon juice. Okay. And then now that I've started doing DCL, it's all in the middle of the night as well. And what I do is I still cut up some apple slices with lemon juice, and I've won before every race, and I think of it as like good luck kind of thing. And we won, so it must have worked.
So, hot tip, straight from the mouth. You guys, if you want to win, it's apple slices and lemon juice. That's what it takes to be a champion.
Certified by IQ0 from Raiden Racing.
I love how that's your, like, you go and have healthy stuff. I just, like, raid a bunch of chocolate and stuff, and that is how I deal with a day of racing. How about you,
I guess
Killian?
you also do have the. I guess you also do have the 50 hours of practice, but
Yeah,
you know,
there's that
on
too.
top of that.
For my part, like the last race, the race was starting at 10 a.m. So I was waking up at 7:30 or 8 a.m. Just out this, was eating just a small lunch and some cereal bar.
Mhm.
After this, I was switching to my grandma house because my PC was not on my house when I was racing because my connection was too bad. So after this, I was grinding 1 hour 30 with my teammate, and I never drink any Red Bull or something like this.
You're not supposed to say that. Everyone drinks Red Bull. We love Red Bull here. Yes,
Oh,
continue.
Yeah, Killian, we love Red Bull.
but sometimes it was making me shaking, but I'm just eating small thing during all the day and
Mhm.
practicing during the break. I'm trying to do the best in the race, be focused, and sleep a lot is very good too.
Yes, very important. I feel like even Kenny wouldn't necessarily know the sleep part because for you guys it's the middle of the night every time. And with
I
oh sorry.
Oh yeah. So preparing for like the late night races, I usually do sleep, but like middle of the day. So I like go to bed at like 12 or 1 o'clock in the afternoon, and then I wake up at like 5, all ready to go for the race. So
You and my kittens would make
yeah,
very great friends. They love day sleeping
awesome.
and then jumping on everything when I'm trying to sleep. It's amazing. And so I had a question and I forgot what it was. What did you ask Santa Claus for Christmas?
Me?
Yeah,
Ladies
I
first.
think why
Okay.
not? You know, whilst we're at it.
I don't know. Is there even any second answer to this question? Is drone parts, and that's about it.
That's
Like,
very
what
good
else
point.
could you want?
I personally asked for a MacBook, but you know, drum parts are nice as well.
Yeah.
Kenny, did you ask for anything special for Christmas? Do you celebrate? I don't know if everyone celebrates Christmas. Like I know I do, but
Well, there's so many religion here, and
mm,
like there's yeah. So some of them celebrate, some of them not. So we got like a lot of like religion holiday. You know, we got the Muslim like the holiday at like July, and we have like Christmas right now, and we have later on like at like February to January there's gonna be like Chinese New Year, so there's gonna be a lot of like celebrations as well.
I think this is my favorite part when you live in countries that have like multiple cultures and religions scuffed into them, is you get all the holidays.
Yeah.
This is my favorite thing of living in London. I was friends with people from lots of different countries, and so all of them had different festivities, and festivities always involve food, and food is just the best. So I'd go for the food.
Yeah, there's a lot of like diverse food as well here, so makes sense.
And Killian, how about you? Do you have any special wishes for Christmas?
No, I don't have. I like the surprise, and so I am just waiting. I got everything I want from my FPV post, thanks to my sponsor for this, and just I'm doing some motorcycle. So sometime I'm asking some board of motorcycle.
That's very cool. And oh, please tell me. Okay, the stream's back. I keep having a question on the tip of my tongue, and then I completely forget it. And I feel like it was actually a really good question. Someone in the comments asked one, so we're gonna go there. Where do you get your lemons from, Gabriel?
Of course, GabesLemons.com. That's best lemons. Great
Please.
prices. Very.
I feel like if we start DCL
yeah,
merch, we're gonna have like things with lemons and apples on them. That's gonna be
I
part
could
of the
get a good old lemon sponsor.
merch.
Wouldn't mind a good old lemon sponsor.
I
That
don't
would
know any
be
lemons.
very.
I do remember my question though. What is your team managers and or owner like? Like towards is it someone who's like super, you know, constantly monitoring everything you're doing and really like pushing you to the extreme? Is it someone like who's chill and lets you do whatever? Like how do you think that goes? Maybe China Dragons can start. Sorry, turn. Kenny.
What's that? Oh, sorry, I'm cutting up.
Oh, what's your team
What was the
manager like?
question? Team manager?
Yeah, Ronnie, right?
Like our team manager? Or
Kenny?
yeah?
Can you hear me?
Hello? Yeah, I can hear you now. Nice.
Yeah.
Like, what was the question again?
So what is your team manager like? You know, Ronnie, what's his management style? Is he like super strict? Is he super chill? How do you feel?
Oh man, at the first start, yeah, pretty strict. We like the first couple of months, you know, at like last season, 2020 season, it's pretty strict at like the first race, and then we get like the second race and the third race not that strict anymore. And we're just like chilling right now, you know. We're not like we just become friend now.
That's cool.
Pretty much, yeah. No pressure and stuff. We just enjoy the race, you know.
That's cool. And Gabe, what's it like with you and David? So how does that work? Is you the team owner and David is the team manager, right?
You broke up for a sec there. What was that?
In Raiden, I believe you Kotera is the team owner and David Mode is the team
Yep.
manager.
Yeah.
So what's it like with the two of them at the? Is there
They're
like a good
both
cop, bad cop
pretty
type
chill.
situation?
No. No, they're both great. They obviously both push us, to do our best, push us to train, when we've got the time. But realistically, I think it's more me that puts the pressure on myself. I'm, I always set like really, really high expectations and get quite disappointed if I don't, meet those. So, yeah, I'm definitely responsible for why I train really hard before races and stuff. But there is obviously a bit of team encouragement to get on the sim practice and put in a strong effort.
There's a funny Twitch comment from Star23467 who says, "I've heard Kenny's team captain is super strict and never lets him have fun." Whoever Kenny's team captain is, honestly not cool. Like, it's all about having fun, isn't it?
Exactly. No one
Yep.
would be here if it wasn't fun.
Exactly. Killian, so Richard is the team owner and Paul is the manager at the moment, right?
Exactly.
And how's it with them?
Richard is always supporting us,
Mhm.
but he's not following us during the race. Just Paul is doing everything. That's pretty cool and chill guy. So is Mod doing everything, like adjusting the time, the points, the classment,
Mhm.
doing all the race, is giving motivation
Mhm.
during the race because it's always pretty hard when we're crashing or doing a bad thing. And it's super cool guys for this. So every time before the race, he was making some training room, like was creating some tracks to train, and just an unbelievable manager.
That's awesome. And so he talks to you while you're racing, like while you're in the controller. He'll tell you what's happening on the rest of the race.
Not the yeah, it was spotting us when we was racing, and also during the breaks, like seeing the points with the classmen, just everything in the race. Everything was happening. We knew it because of Paul.
Okay. And what's it like in Raiden? Do you or David? I mean, David does race, to be fair, so it's a bit different. But do you hear you kind of telling you, "Hey, by the way, right now you're second, this much time difference," or does he kind of let you do your thing and afterwards, he'll update you?
Usually it's more the team that does the spotting rather
Okay.
than you and Longcat helps as well.
Mhm.
We've got a pretty strict set of rules that we follow and like what to call and what not to call.
Okay.
When just to let the pilots race their race and whatnot. But yeah, I think it's more of a pilot effort than it is from you and whatnot.
Okay.
So yeah,
Are
we all kind of help each other out.
Are you the type of person who wants to hear all of the all of the information, or do you just want like the small bits, or do you want to just hear nothing and just kind of go?
I just like a little bit of information, just like the really, really important stuff. So, yeah.
Okay. And how about you, Kenny? Are you with Dragons? Do you guys do spotting during the race?
Oh yeah, I can't fly without spotter. This escape, like we're like in the same team, and I always ask him to spot me because like that crucial information that you got from like your teammate can help you win the race. For example, like if I'm like leading by 0.1 millisecond and I thought I'm like far ahead of him, and then I ask my teammate how far I am in front, and then I just figure out that I'm like 0.1 millisecond ahead. I gotta push more, you know? They can overtake me at any corner. But if I push too hard and I'm like 1 second in front of them, I can just like slow down and be consistent a little bit more, you know?
Mhm.
Not push a little bit too hard and then crash, and then turns out they're like really far behind. I can easily take the dub, and that's where spotting becomes really crucial to like drone racing
And
as
you
well.
are able to, at the same time, fly and be able to ask someone, hey, where am I at?
Yeah, before the race start, I always ask him like, say what position I am, like every lap. For example, like when I'm like entering second lap, I was like asking who's like behind me, or where's my teammate at, or who's just right behind me. How many milliseconds are they behind me? And that's what you gotta like really pay attention at, you know.
I love how you're able to process this information, and I'm just like, already just watching it for me is hard to process. Like, you guys are flying and watching and listening all at the same time. The amount of concentration and skill that you guys have is really insane. I hope you get told this often enough. So, and in terms of like friends and family, do you feel like you're quite supported by friends and family? Do they know about all the stuff you do, or is it more a thing that you've found your friends and family are more like the community itself?
My family and friends is always supporting me, like wherever I go and what others I join. Like for example, I always share with them like the Twitch link, you know, watch me race here today, and like in front of like thousand of people watching Twitch right now, you know, yeah, and they always support me. This is really cool.
That's really nice. And how about you, Killian? Do you have like quite a supportive group around you?
My dad is supporting me a lot,
Mhm.
pretty intense doing the start. So also my family, like my uncle, my grandpa, my grandmother, everyone is supporting me and help me to be one of the best every day. So it's good.
Yeah, they're doing a good job. You are one of the best, so it's investment that's worth it. And how about you, Gabe?
Yeah, my family's really supportive. Personally, I don't usually like tell my family a whole lot in terms of drone racing, but usually my mum, when she finds out, she tells like the whole family. Every moment she has to tell someone that I'm in the DCL, she does.
Bless.
So because of that, I think every human that's somewhat related to us knows about DCL and my racing, and yeah, everyone's pretty supportive. So
Are they all watching now?
I doubt it.
Oh yeah, they're
I don't
probably
think
a little
anyone would
bit.
wake up this early.
Yeah, that's fair. Not even your mom?
Oh, no, probably not.
Terrible parenting.
I think
That.
I think I do have a lot of Australian or a couple Australian pilots watching at the moment, supporting me there. So yeah,
Shout out to the Australian pilots watching.
yep, shout out.
Y'all are the real ones. And to anyone, who's in the general eastern region where it is some ridiculous hour right now, we appreciate the support.
Yeah, all the guys in Australia are very like, have really good relationships and know each other really well. So it's good to have the support.
Do you guys ever meet up somewhere? I know Australia is huge, so I feel like this would be difficult to do. But is there some
Yeah.
kind of midway point, or some people maybe in the cities around you who you can meet up with and fly together, to practice?
Yeah, so in my city, in Melbourne, we've got two racing clubs that hold probably about 12 races a year in 2 seasons. So they both hold a winter and a summer season, and there's about 6 races in each of those seasons. So we've got like 24 races in a year, plus any international and national races.
Mhm.
And yeah, we have like pilots like Heapsy FPV and BMS Thomas all competing. So some pretty good competition in Australia. And then it gets even better when we go to national races like the Australian Drone Nationals event and whatnot, where all the pilots from around Australia come to fly. And then it gets even better when we go to international races and whatnot. So yeah, it's definitely not a lack of pilots to fly with.
That's great that you have, close by support, I guess. And Kenny, how about you? And do you have local tournaments that you're able to attend to at least still continue real life, or do you usually have to leave the country to be able to?
Right now, no, because like the COVID outbreak and stuff, haven't joined any real life race in like 2 years. I think last time it's the Asia Drone League. I got second place. That's like 2019 September, and
Congrats.
that's like the last race. Thanks. And that's like the last race I ever joined like real life. Since then, it's like the COVID outbreak happens. There's no more like real life race happening around here. So I'm just moving to simming, but I still fly it like real life.
Yeah, I was
Gotta
gonna
keep
say,
up.
are you able to practice? Like
Yeah,
a real life
I'm
one?
able to practice.
Do you
Yeah.
do you have to go to a park, or is there like a special drone racing place, or how do you practice?
Oh no, I just practice at the local field. I don't know, just nobody fly there, nobody do any activity there. I fly there. So,
What are the laws in Australia like about flying? Can you just like fly wherever, or I think is it in Oz that they started having really strict laws with that?
I think it's a bit of a grey area. Like, I don't think we're meant to fly unless we're at a club or we've got like tons of licensing and permission to fly.
Mhm.
But usually when I fly somewhere, it's like no one's there, and I'm not really harming anyone in the
Yeah.
process. But the large majority of the time, I'm just racing at my clubs, which obviously are privately owned land
Yeah.
that have a
Sure,
nice
that's a
flat
problem.
field for us to fly at. So
And Killian, how about you? Are you able to practice outside?
Yeah, it's raining a lot in the winter on France, but I'm practicing 1 or 2 times in a week at this moment. So there is a competition, not a lot, but there is some competition in France with like 50 pilots every time, and it's pretty interesting. I'm leading, but there is some very good pilots behind me.
And what region of France are you in?
I'm living just next to Bordeaux in the southwest.
Yeah, I see. It rains a lot. Does it rain there? I didn't know that. I thought it was nice weather because you're on the coast. Is it summer in Melbourne at the moment?
Sorry.
Oh no, for Gabriel. And
Oh,
is it summer at the moment?
yeah, it's summer now.
Is it a terrible summer, or is it an actual nice one? Are you a summer person?
I'd say I'm like I don't know, spring person maybe. I don't like it when it gets too cold or when it gets too hot, obviously, but I think at the moment the weather's been pretty good. I'd say most of the week is good flying weather, and occasionally we get like one really hot day or one kind of rainy day, but at the moment it's not getting like super hot. Like we're not getting 40-degree days yet, which is good, but that'll definitely come, I reckon, in like January and whatnot. So
I feel for you.
it'll get hotter, but good for now.
Kenny, do you ever have issues with the weather, or is it most of the time quite kind of open and you can
Wait,
fly
there's
without?
there's well, there's only two season here. There's only rainy season and sunny season. So I don't have any trouble flying.
So when it's rainy
It's been raining a
season,
lot.
you can't.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
It's this couple of weeks and a couple of months it's been raining season, so I'll be back flying real life at like January, kind of stuff like that. But from like January to like August or something like that, it's always like summer. Like it's always sunny. It's rare to see it's raining like every day. It's like almost raining every day now, and like it's hard to fly in like real life, you know. That's why I kind of fly sim more this couple of months as well.
Well, do you feel like you've been doing like I haven't actually seen the autumn trials leaderboard recently. Have you been flying during the autumn trials?
Pretty much take a break from DCL. You know,
I'm
I
hurt.
wanna get some. Yeah, it's been like a tough grind, you know, during
Yeah.
this DCL season. I wanna take a break from it for a moment. I'll be back later on as well.
Fair enough. Have you been doing any of the trials, Gabe, or just been focused on the races?
Yeah, once DCL finished, I was pretty, sick of grinding every day, so I took a massive break. I'm, focusing on my real life flying now, which I am not very good at the moment, but we're getting there. So,
Well,
yeah,
it's the perfect season to practice, so you'll get there.
it is.
You've got a few months until we have a DCL real life race anyway.
Yeah, awesome.
And Killian, have you been simming, or have you, since the race finished, you're like, okay, you know what, DCL, I'm just gonna breathe for a bit.
I think like everyone, I just did a break after this year.
Mhm.
Like in 2 years, I did like 800 hours of this year. That's a lot,
Yeah, that is a lot.
and I just want to do the break after this race.
And so back to the 2021 season, what was your favorite environment and or track? So it can be two different ones. Killian, which location,
Okay.
virtual location, obviously, was your favorite to race at, and was there one track in particular that you really liked?
Mm, I don't have special tracks I like. I think I like it a lot. Lux,
Mhm.
just the first track in the Lux, but this year like everything was pretty good. So I don't have a favorite environment or super favorite tracks.
And you got to race Lax. Did you go to Lax in real life as well?
No, like a Cushing was racing
Oh,
just
okay.
pay for me, and uh I got in the this year just after him in the second race of the season.
Ah, okay. So you weren't able to do Lax. And how about you, Kenny? What would you say your favorite environment is, and if there's a track in particular that you liked, which one?
I like I'm the same with Darkex here. I like the lax environment the most because they got like the most challenging track and like the technical part, which I really like. For example, I think it's I can't remember. Is it like day one track or day two track? The one that we won. Oh, it's day one. It's day one. The day track. You gotta go up to the ladder and go down again. That's like my favorite part that I've been practicing on this couple of years. And seeing it like in tracks makes me pretty excited for the race, you know, because I'm pretty good at it. I don't want to brag too much, but pretty consistent at it.
Yeah,
So yeah,
I think Filippo has a lot of fun with these tracks. You can tell that he just tries to do the track that he thinks is just going to be the most insane.
and
I-
Filippo really step up like his track design skill from like last year. Like
Yeah.
all the like the flow and stuff, it's really good.
I
And
know
really enjoy the track.
he's done a really, really good job. We're really thankful to have him on board. And I think credit as well to the whole dev team, because Filippo is obviously head of, but there's a whole team who does help him there. And so if any of you are watching, thank you for all your help this year. Gabe, which environments is your fave?
I may be a little biased, but I think China was my favorite environment, to be honest. Not only that we won there, but also I think especially track 3 in the China location was my favorite.
Halo.
I think it might have also been the hardest track possibly from the entire season, but I think I like that.
Okay.
There was a lot of elements that were quite difficult, but like you could really get it that perfect way, and it would be so nice and flowy and really fun to do. So yeah, track 3 from the Great Wall of China scenery was definitely my favorite track, I reckon.
That is a beautiful location. Have you ever been to anywhere in China before?
I have not. I don't think I've left Australia for drone racing. Not that good yet.
But
We'll get
just
there.
in general, have you ever, visited somewhere that's not Australia?
Nah, I don't think I've ever gone overseas, unfortunately.
To be fair, Australia is massive. I feel like there are a lot of places one can visit there.
Yes, it is. It is very large.
I sometimes forget, and then I look at Australia on the map and I'm like, oh wow, okay. It's like the whole of Europe in one country, basically. I mean,
Yeah, pretty
Western
much.
Europe, maybe a little bit of Eastern
I
Europe
think
in it.
most of our states are bigger than a lot of countries in Europe. So
Oh, definitely. The countries in Europe are tiny. If you compare it to anywhere else in the world, European countries are tiny. Especially then you have Liechtenstein and stuff like that, where I'm like, that's not even a neighborhood. It's like, it can't be a country. It's so small. You can get from one end to the other, you can walk. But anyway, besides the point. Are there any of these locations that you'd like environment, not necessarily the environment itself, whatever, but that you'd actually want to be racing in real life at some point in time? Of all the locations that we raced this year, and we can also count last year as well, because most of you were racing last year. Which is the one that you'd want to visit and or race in real life?
China
Okay, well,
or the big wall.
yeah, I feel like Great Wall is a general fan favorite.
yeah, I think I'm with Killian on this one. Great Wall of China for me.
I actually want to go to Lax because I haven't seen snow before in my life, so it'd be fun going to Lax.
Yeah,
You
that
know?
probably would be. It's I've heard that the hard part with lax were the conditions, because you're up in the mountains, so the weather is actually impactful, and that part was a little bit harder than what you get in a sim that's perfect playing conditions.
Yep.
But hopefully, I genuinely have no idea what all the locations are for next year. So I can't actually tell anyone. It's not like I'm hiding anything. But the last information that I do have is that there will be 6. If someone from DCL is watching, sorry, correct me if I'm wrong in the chat. 6 real life and no, sorry, not 6 real. 6 virtual and 2 real life events, I think. Or 4 virtual and 2 real life. I know there's a 6, I don't know if it's 6 events in total or 6 virtual and 2 real life, but the plan is real life. It's genuinely in the plan. Just like this year, we did not decide this. It was entirely a COVID thing, and we hope that next year we will be able to get everyone safely to whatever location we are at, and you guys can then be able to race in real life, because we would love nothing more, honestly, than to get back to real life racing. I think everyone is on the same page here. Just so you know, DCL isn't ignoring you when you ask for real life. We're just complying with, regulations and things. So what is the moment in your kind of drone flying in general, or it can be racing, kind of time has been a really positive, impactful, happy, really exciting moment? This doesn't have to be DCL related, doesn't even have to be winning a race, just a moment where you're like, wow, this is amazing. Killian, is there any moment that you kind of felt really excited?
Mm, I, I think that was in 2019 during the World Championship.
Mhm.
I was just so much excited to, to fly in the World Championship.
Mhm.
That was also my hardest race when I took first third place, and that was super. Every round that was harder, and we flew not that much in the tracks, but just 1 week before I was doing the DCL, and we won the final of DCL.
Mhm.
So these two moments during 2 weeks was very important for me in my career.
Yeah, it must have felt amazing to fly, with world champions and then even win. Kenny, is what would you say kind of a really impactful moment was for you?
Oh, for sure, the moment we got third place at the podium last time, the likes race. Man, we were like shouting and screaming in the mic because we got like 1 to 4. Oh my god, the comms is amazing as well. Like we didn't expect we go that far, because it's like, okay, let's get 4th place here, boys, and then we made it to the final, and then it's like I think it's like 12-8 for the points, and we made it one second, third, and fourth back to back, and makes like advantage for the point. Yeah, that was unreal for us.
That was a race to watch. It was really, really great, and I was really happy for you guys. I love saying when teams work hard and get the result that they deserve from the hard work. So good on you. Did you celebrate in like a special way? Did you guys like go pop champagne, or are you all underage and I shouldn't be telling you to pop champagne?
Uh, I can't drink. I'm still like 15, but I don't know about them.
Did you
I
pop
think Friedrich got
champomy? You know that like fake champagne that's like sparkling juice basically?
Oh
Did you
yeah,
like
I
pop
know that kind
that?
of stuff, but I actually did not like I didn't prepare anything because I don't think we made it that far, and it's like really unexpected that we made it that far. So yeah, it's like, oh, we did it, boys! Like we got third, finally got a podium. Really happy.
Stars of the chat. Maybe did you pop champagne? Let us know in the chat. Gabe, how about you? What would you say is your most thrilling moment? I mean, I feel like we can all guess this, but you're allowed to say it.
Well, let's be honest. Every time I'm, on the sticks flying a drone, I'm extremely happy, extremely excited.
Mm-hmm.
But there's probably 2 moments that have been like the most exciting and awesome time. So one was obviously winning DCL this season. Um, I don't think I've ever felt anything like so happy before. I was very excited. Like I said, I could barely believe it for the whole time of the grand final, and until it was like completely over and on Instagram and the results were in, I was like absolutely so excited, so happy. Um, but the other time was my very first drone race. I remember the whole week leading up to it, I was so excited. I was doing everything I could to make sure nothing went wrong. And the night before, I was like, I couldn't sleep all night. I was so excited, so ready to finally fly a real life drone in a proper race. I don't know, it was kind of like Christmas almost for me because when that was like obviously my first race, but
Mm.
I had been interested in going to my first race for like 3 years before that, and all the practice, everything had led up to that one moment, and that was amazing as well.
And how did you do in that one?
Oh, I did terrible. I must have done the worst flying anyone's ever seen, but you know, it was just fun to get out there and fly with a bunch of the people that I'd just seen like DVR from on the internet and whatnot.
Yeah, I guess I feel like I'm not sure I know anyone whose first race went well. If there's anyone in the Twitch chat who can contradict me, feel free. Penny, how was your first ever race?
Oh my god, actually it was pretty unexpected as well. I remember I was just flying drone for like 6 months, I think, and I joined like this local race, like that. It's like the whole Indonesian like top pilots there as well, and I got second place for some reason. Like there's like 10 pilots, which is like much better than me, and then I managed to pull it off. I just stay safe for the final, and then I
Wow.
and then my dad said to me, "It's like, oh, wait, what do you finish? Where do you finish?" And I said, "Oh, did I get second?" And it's like, "Yeah, you got second. Like two of them crashed." It's like, really?
And
So, yeah.
well, Kenny contradicting my theory then. Killian, your very, very first race, do you remember it?
Ah, yeah, perfectly.
So what
That
happened?
was my first race. I was just trying to see my speed to compare it with other French guys at this moment. That was in the end of 2017,
Mhm.
and uh, I took the second place in the qualification. Anybody just know me? I was just an weird outsider.
Mhm.
I was just a young fast man, and the first one just got a meter in the quarterfinal or something like this. So I just made it to the first place, and that was incredible because that was my first event, and everybody was like, "What the heck is the new in the drone racing and winning everything? What the heck?" And I remember since this time, I was I was one or second in France because the French champion was very fast, but it just stopped to fly drone racing anymore, and I took French champion 2 times in a row.
Wow.
So
Okay. So, never mind my theory about everyone being terrible. It's just us, Gabe. We're terrible when we start.
Yeah, just me and
Uh,
you. But
but the important thing is you kept working, you persisted, and you succeeded. So, that shows strength of character, that does.
sure, yeah, let's go with that. Not the other thing.
We can't be good at everything, right? So what would you say, Killian, would be a moment that you remember as being really embarrassing or a really terrible crash or something like that you remember that you're like, oof.
I think that that's always happened with Raiden Racing during the big hit when we were flying 8 people. That's we need to get faster because if we are not getting faster, we see every quads in front of us, and that's annoying. So that makes a lot of pressure. And always with Raiden Racing, that was so close, and everything was possible at this big eight.
Mm-hmm.
So in the first of the session, the second race, if I remember, I just crashed and Minchen got the same. So just Raiden got a lot of point at the second race and won. I was I was bad of crashing like this because we was technically faster than this day.
Yeah, I mean, I think it was, I don't know which big heat it was that you won, and I think it was on day 5. I don't know them all by heart now, but there was one where you won the big heat and came through. So you know you shouldn't beat
Just a lot
yourself
of
up
hits.
too much because you crashed, but you've also done a lot for XBlades and gotten them a lot of points and wins. So you can still be very proud of yourself for the season, honestly. And Gabe, what would you say is a crash that you particularly remember?
I couldn't tell you. I don't know. I don't
An embarrassing
seem
moment.
I don't think I have one, to be honest. Yeah, I somehow fly better. Well, at least I fly more consistently under pressure. Like, I can be practicing for a race and not finish a single practice run, and then when the light goes green, I'm just like flying perfectly somehow. But you yeah, I don't know. I think I usually end up like going slow and coming last before I crash and come last. So yeah, I don't have a whole lot of times where I crash and disappoint everyone.
So actually, you know, I was right in strength of character. You persisted because you started off doing terribly, and now if you do terribly, at least it's not because you crashed. So
Sure.
it's better. That's the
Yeah,
positive,
it's
I
better.
guess. We need to try see life in a positive light.
Yeah,
Any,
exactly.
are there any major crashes or embarrassing moments or anything that you don't want us to know, but you're going to tell us anyway?
I don't think so. I actually trying to figure it out, but I don't think I make like a major mistake that actually make like a disadvantage of to my team. You know,
It
I
doesn't
can't
have to
memorize it.
be like in a race, though. It can just be when you were practicing, you flew your drone into a tree or something. It's like, it doesn't.
I actually haven't broken like a quad in real life,
What?
like an
How?
arm. Yeah. Well, I broke like a motor and stuff, like a WDC, but I never broke an arm. For some
That's
reason, like I told I told Gabe that several times, and he can't like believe me as well.
Nah, I can believe you. I've pretty much never broken a quad either.
Yeah,
I
all but the consistency.
there are gonna be some lie detector tests going around soon.
Oh,
Killian, have you
Well,
ever broken
I
a quad?
only
Oh, sorry. Go.
I only own one quad, so um, it would be pretty bad if I broke it.
Yeah, that's fair. It's the type of thing that keeps the pressure on to be able to, you know, not break it.
Yeah, I'm definitely not good enough to have, you know, all the sponsors giving me stuff yet. But we'll get there. We'll get there.
Yeah, it's only a matter of time. I mean, you're part of a world champion team. You scored a lot of points. Because if you look at your ranking and points, one thing that I was going through is like you have 116 points, heat points in total in the season. So you finished 15th overall, but you missed out on one race, right?
I missed out on two races.
Two
I missed out
races.
on. I participated in 4 out of 6.
So
What would that be? Wait, how many points did you say I got?
116.
116. Let's times that by what? 1.5 to be like an average for 6 races instead of 4. And that's 174. Where does 174 put me?
Still behind Killian. Killian is at 187.
Darn. Killian got me. Oh well.
That's still
I
very,
guess a
very
pretty
good.
consistent effort still. Yeah.
Kenny, how many races did you race? Did
I
you do all
think
6? No, I think you did 5.
no, I think I did 5. I didn't join the prep time race.
But one thing that works in your favor of points meddling that I was trying to do is that China Dragons very rarely got to a final. So you were not going to make as many points as Raiden or XBlades, who consistently made finals. So technically you could also, you know, be higher up in the league. I'm just saying. not creating a rivalry or anything. Killian,
Yeah.
have you ever broken
Yeah.
a quad?
In this race,
No, in real life, like when you were racing, at any point in time, have you ever broken a quad? Or even just practicing?
like, I I'm breaking a lot in race, but not in practicing, cause this just a soft gate. But there is a lot of metal gate with hard floor during the race, and like the last week I was in Corbox, so I broke a lot of bed of motor, a lot of ESC, a lot of frame, broke a lot of things.
So, not to self-done, invite Killian somewhere where there are things to break. You live, you learn, I guess. And what is a piece of advice that you would have liked to get when you started that you think you should pass on to anyone who wants to start drone racing and FPV? Something that you wish someone had told you when you started, Killian?
Can you repeat,
Uh,
please?
Advice to someone who wants to start drone racing or FPV.
What can I say about drone FPV to start?
To someone who's new, who's starting.
That's that's hard at the first time to just understand how fly drone, but
Yeah.
there is the drone is very easier than before to fly and to make.
Mhm.
So it's just way easier right now, and there is also a lot of simulator like DCL to help to get faster in real life. So just you can start FPV just for fun, for freestyle, for everyone, every what you want. Just the goal of FPV racing for me is doing the race with the best. But at the first, I was doing the race with my friend, and that was very fun part of one FPV.
Mhm.
That's what I like.
It's about having fun. Gabriel, is there any advice that you wish someone had told you or that you want to pass on to anyone starting?
Not so much that I wish someone had told me, but definitely for new pilots, like definitely just buy a radio and get a sim before you build a real quad. I'd say get at least 100, 200, 300 hours in the sim before you build a real life quad.
Okay.
Yeah, it's very helpful to have all the muscle memory, all the technique nailed before you start flying and break a quad on your first flight.
And how about you, Kenrick? What would you, what you feel? Do you think that no one gave you advice, or something that you would like to pass on to new
I'm
generation?
actually I agree with Gabe here that flying sim before you buy like a real life quad will help you and save you a lot of money as well because you know the basic of like flying a drone like roll pitch how to turn and stuff and like the sim it's really like gonna help you in real life as well like the muscle movement and stuff and just strike fly acro just fuck angle this when I start flying drone racing I pretty much spend a lot of time flying angle mode and pretty much regret it. So if you get a quad in real life, just make sure you fly acro, straight fly acro.
What's the
It's like in the
difference
sim.
between angle mode and acro mode?
The angle mode, it's like a DJI drone. There's like this for acro mode, it's what is it called? The angle mode is like a DJI drone. It's not like fully. It's not fully. How do you say it? It's not fully.
Like that you can
I
control it
think
100%?
Yeah, it's not like you're fully controlling it. You can like in acro you can just like roll and stuff. You can do whatever you want, but in angle there's some limitation on it as well.
So what can't you do in angle that you can do in acro?
In angle you just can like turn like basic turn, but for like racing you need to use acro because there's like some obstacles and stuff. Like for example ladders and corkscrew, you can't do that in like angle mode
Okay.
because you need like full control of the drone, not like the like in angle. If you turn, for example, rolling, it's gonna make your drone do the reverse way. You know, if you turn like the left too much, it's gonna go to the right.
Okay.
So
One day someone's going to teach me and I will crash all the drones. What would you say your favorite obstacle is? Or the most challenging, or both?
the most challenging one is I got two actually. I can't really like say which one is better, but I like corkscrew and ladder because it's really satisfying when you get it like right. You know, when you get it tight enough, it's so satisfying. When you get like when you can pass somebody at like the race at like that kind of obstacles, it's really good. Like just so saw yourself like passing people there, and then the guy like right behind you, and then they will pass you like some other obstacle that you're not really good at. That was what makes racing drone fun, you know, like the challenge and stuff.
How about you, Killian? What would you say your favorite obstacle is?
My favorite obstacle,
Yeah.
I think there's technical ports, and sometimes I like technical port like for loop or corkscrew, but sometimes I like when the truck is very flowy with a lot of speed and doing some trajectory, turning very tight to the flag and doing tight split ass. I like the split ass a lot.
That's cool. And while Gabe answers this question, is there anything Twitch chat that you would like to ask the pilots? Feel free to, ask the pilots any questions in the chat. Gabriel, go ahead. What is your favorite obstacle?
So I guess if you look at DCL tracks, you kind of merge obstacles. But if we just think about it in the simplest way, I think like slaloms and dive gates are my favorite. I like slaloms because, they're so simple on the surface, right? It's just a bunch of left and right turns, but there's like a lot of thought that can go into getting them tight. Sometimes they can be like, you can just take them as a complete straight line almost. And it's like, seems so simple, but at the same time, a lot of people, then like overturn, and it's like there's just so much depth towards what you can do with them. And then dive gates are kind of interesting because I do a lot of like coaching, and I teach a lot of people about drone racing, and dives is always the part that everyone seems to struggle with. And I think it's really ironic because I find you can't really nail dive gates until you stop looking at them. Because when a lot of people start flying, they like are trying to look at every gate they go through, and as you speed up, you can't possibly concentrate on every gate you're going through. So what you end up doing is you kind of like zone out and just like fly with your peripheral vision. And I find that until you reach that point, dive gates are always going to be really hard because you kind of like watch it, and then you hit it. And that's how it always ends up going. And it's for that reason, I think it's a really interesting obstacle because I don't think any other obstacle causes such struggle for new pilots. And it's kind of like funny how like simple the solution is. It's just don't look at it really. But yeah.
Nice. I feel like Twitch chat hasn't been very responsive, so are there any questions
We've only
you
got
guys...
4 people.
Sorry?
I think we've only got 4 people, so...
No, we don't. We have more.
Oh, now we got 7. Doing a bit better.
Oh no, the number that you see there is actually an average, whatever. Someone explained this to me at Twitch, that it's not necessarily the exact amount of people that are connected right now.
Oh well.
So it could be more. But do you guys have any questions for each other?
Nothing for me.
It's now or never. You guys might never ever meet. No, you will. But it's gonna be a while until you meet in real life. This is your
Other
moment.
than other than how is Killian so fast? Not really.
Killian, how are you so fast?
I'm just flying into the gate. So I'm just practicing. Be one of the best in FPV drone racing was my goal, my first goal. So I right now I'm just flying, keep practicing, and I'm getting faster. Like this, that's a lot of work.
I have one final question, actually. But Killian, yeah, I mean, whatever your routine is, it's clearly working. So if you could, give us whatever it is that you're taking, we'd appreciate it. Thank you. The final question before we go is, was there a pilot this season in particular that impressed you? Doesn't necessarily have to be a winning pilot or the fastest, but someone who impressed you. Killian.
Mentioned for sure. Like every time is the fastest. Is getting every time both best lap in practice in the race. Is making the lot of points, the most point. I like this guy so much. He's really cool. I like to speak with him. Like very interesting person, and is practicing so much in order to for his drink to stay at the best. So I'm very respectful to him, and that was just insane moments to race with him, and sometime beat him in the race was just wow.
Is he a robot?
Uh, yeah, almost.
Yeah. No question. Yes.
I still very firmly believe he is, but there are doubters. Gabe, what would you say? I mean, if you'll mention, Killian has covered it. Is there any other pilot this season that you've been particularly impressed by?
Yes, actually. Obviously, I wouldn't probably say I was impressed. Well, not impressed, but I wasn't surprised by a lot of the really, really fast pilots. But I was really, really happy with Costa from Raiden Racing.
Mhm.
His performances in the second half of the season were absolutely crazy. From where he went at the start of the season to the end of the season was such a huge improvement. He was running sometimes the fastest times in our team at the very end, in practice and stuff like that. So yeah, he really surprised us all and did amazing in the last few races. So
That's really good. Progress is paramount, I guess. And Kenny, anyone
yeah,
that you were particularly impressed by this season?
Can I say team? Like I don't want to say individuals.
You're allowed to say a team as well, sure.
Well, my team has been like I don't know, emotional roller coaster like this whole season because we started up like not expecting much more than like sixth place, and then like my whole team just really put on like the time and stuff on like the grind that makes me like really happy for them, Like it's really paying off. Like for example, Creator and Lego is like a rookie for like
Yeah.
for like the 2021 seed, and they really did like a really awesome job, especially Lego.
No, it's really
So, yeah.
great. I think all three of you are part of some excellent teams, and it's good that you guys have, each other in your teams to push each other. Cool. Well, unless anyone has any questions for me as in DCL, or any shout outs that you want to do to your fish, or, you know, anything that you want to say before we go? No one?
No one.
Cool. Well, I want to
And
shout out to my cat for being my highfulman this season. She sat in front of my screen every race. She was blocking the screen half the time. It was very annoying. But we made it, so you know.
I
Thank you
wish
so
my cat
much.
was that friendly.
Oh no, she's an
My cat.
attention. I will not use the word, but yeah, she's
My-
very much
my-
into. What's your cat like? Just one of those cats who just hates everyone?
Yeah, she just runs away as soon as she sees anyone. Goes and hides.
Yeah, one of the kittens I have is like that, except with me. But yeah, it always hides away. I think one of the highlights of this season for me personally was either David wearing a cat mask or when David's cat started meowing in the middle of his interview. Both really fantastic moments of TV right there. Anyway, thank you so much to these three incredible pilots for joining us. Killian Rousseau, aka Darkex from XBlades, Gabriel Barasso, aka IQ0 from Raiden Racing, and Kenrick Lin, aka Kenrick FPV from China Dragons. It's been a pleasure having all of you here. Happy holidays to everyone. Merry Christmas and Happy New Year to those who celebrate. I even have a Santa hat. And I even have an ugly Christmas jumper. I feel like I need to show this. It's a polar bear. It's a polar bear. Anyway. Enjoy the break, everyone. I hope you all have good holidays. Stay safe in these uncertain times. And we look forward to seeing you back as fans and as pilots next year, because we have loads of really great racing happening. So stick around. Bye!
See ya.
Say bye.
Bye.
Thanks for
See ya.